today that when somebody asks me, when did you first meet your wife? I have no answer. Because I don't know when. Reason being, I grew up knowing her. It was preschool time, pre-nursery time, that for those who don't know, there is only, I would say, less than 20 days difference between us. We are both 50 this year. And there's only 20 days between us. But also growing up together in the same locality, we got to know each other from the very tender age of pre-nursery. So I do know her long before I even started nursery. And to have grown up in that stage to now, you would think I know everything about her. But she surprises me every single day. Reason I mentioned earlier on today is she has these visions that she has to do a lot for people. When she started to say she was going to get a library to Cameroon, I thought she was joking. I went to work and she said, turn on the radio. And I turned the radio on, and there she was live on the BBC about her books. And before I knew it, I was sent everywhere to collect books. There were people emptying libraries, and I had to go and collect them. There was no space in the house to put anything. And my books that were upstairs were out of the house to make space for the books that were being prepared to go. My shoes were in the shed to make space. And in my son's bathroom, Solly will remember this, there was no space in Solly's bedroom, and Solly's bed was sold in order to get a smaller bed so that books can occupy the other spaces. And we were so relieved when the van came to collect the books. We piled all of it up, and we thought, wow, at least that is gone. The van drove off, and then more books arrived. And I thought, for the first time, let me ship a car to Cameroon. And I said to her, I will buy the car, and I will ship it as long as every single book get out of that house. And we did. Ship the car. Before the car could reach Cameroon, she told me, your car is arriving in Cameroon next week. Who is doing the clearance? And before I knew it, she was on the phone to Cardinal Toomey. She was on the phone to a minister in Cameroon. And before I knew it, the books were being cleared and she was off to Cameroon. And when they told me she was getting the books out in 24 hours, and she did. And got the books to Kumbu overnight. The crowd that came out to welcome brought tears. She's got the videos, and you can see the crowd when she arrived in my village. It was not in her village the books went, they went to my village. And the crowd that came out to welcome her is still the topic of the village today, about that library. And that did not stop there. She continued paying the people that run the library. She pays the salaries of the 2 people that run the library back home. I couldn't do that. I would have been looking for a business line to see how best that village is going to pay for those libraries. And then I could have asked them to come and pick the books. The village contributor and come and pick the books from Douala. She didn't ask them a penny. She transferred everything. Worst of it was, in the library books, I was so angry when the books went. Because in the library books, there was one book from Chinua Achebe that I really wanted. And she told me the books were meant to go to the library in the village. They were not going to be used for the family because it wasn't a family affair. She seized that book from me. And it went to the library. And she said, if you want to use it, go and rent it from the library back home. Use it and put it back. I didn't get access to that book at all. But that was her. When we cleared that, she started another library from her former secondary school, and she succeeded within a short period of time. She had the football competitions for women, where we were only taxed as to who is buying the trophy. You are. Then she will announce it before she even let you know. And before you know it, you are the one paying for it. But she will do that, and she will pay her own flight, go and look after that, and sort out the women football tournaments, the races that she sorted out. The women joined together from different villages to start farming projects, which she paid for it all, provided the fertilizer for it all. You would somehow think somebody like that will go around asking people for money in order to do it. She never did. And do you know how she got the money? She went to work. She worked the money and went and paid for it. And the coordinators that were actually running the projects were being paid a salary. And that salary was paid by her throughout the time, until the war started. And so, I have my own human weaknesses, which even as a clergyman, I struggle with that. I sometimes think she could have nothing on her, but those salaries must be paid. And she will pay the salary and then stand and say, I've got no petrol. And that's just her. When she started to write the book, my daughter Sheila was with us. And Sheila knew how far we went, where she will get everything together to get the book ready at the time she wanted. And one amazing thing about her is that she's scared of nothing. And money is not a project. Money is not a problem. Because when she said,